looks like Steve Kerr is going to be in the Bay Area for just a little bit longer after the head coach did sign a 2-year, $35 million contract extension late last night for the Golden State Warriors, which is, of course, what we're going to be unpacking on today's show. Welcome into Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and, of course, Steve Kerr has been nothing but great for Dub Nation for almost a decade, I believe now. So let's talk about it. First and foremost, I do want to break down the fact that why you guys should subscribe to Warriors Days for this very reason. Anything you guys need to know about Dub Nation, you're going to have it right here. So all you guys have to do, and we'll do all the work, is go on ahead and hit that sub button for me. So Woj did have this Woj bomb pretty late on Friday night and said, breaking, Golden State Steve Kerr has agreed on a 2-year, $35 million contract extension. Rick Smith and Dan of Priority Sports tells ESPN Kerr's new deal makes him the highest paid coach in league history. Over $17.5 million a year. For a little bit of retrospect here, Eric Spolestra makes about $15 million a year. Gregg Popovich with the San Antonio Spurs, he actually makes more annually, but he also has a share in the presidency. He has a share in the team and the franchise as well. So in terms of just head coaching, Steve Kerr has just made history. And I find it pretty interesting that Mike Dunleavy does wonders when he's signing contract extensions because he made Steve Kerr's contract extension perfectly line up with the golden boy of the Golden State Warriors. Contract through the 2025-26 season is now going to be for Steve Kerr and for Steph Curry. So if Steph Curry does decide that maybe his father time, it's finally up and he will retire, well, maybe Steve Kerr can go along with him. But let's talk about what Steve Kerr has meant to the Golden State Warriors over the last decade. He did get hired in 2014 to 2015, ahead of all the historic runs that Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson have had. He does have a 655 winning percentage, which is actually fifth in NBA history, and he is a 4-time NBA championship coach. Of course, he has his own rings for himself with the Chicago Bulls, but he has led the Warriors to 4 championships and then 6 NBA Finals appearances. Although, I will admit, it takes a lot in order to be able to coach a trio like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, and he's done it so effortlessly. He has truly just molded one of the best trios this NBA has seen in the last decade to just be a historic trio. So here's what Draymond Green actually had to say about Steve Kerr signing his contract. Essentially, he said, look, I think it's incredible. I wouldn't want to finish my time here with any other coach. What he's meant to this franchise, the winning ways that he has brought here, you can't replace that. And he got what he deserved. And honestly, I do completely agree with Draymond Green here. I really did not want the Golden State Warriors to enter that carousel of coaches. And if they were to fire Steve Kerr because there were a lot of issues this season, not Steve Kerr's fault per se, but there were some questionable decisions, I was nervous to see which kind of coaching wheel they were going to put themselves in. I mean, look at the Milwaukee Bucks. They're on their 4th coach in 6 months. I don't think there's many out there that are better than Steve Kerr. So go ahead and drop your one-word reaction to Kerr's extension. I'll be honest, when he got extended, I'm out having drinks with my friends. I looked down at my phone and I go, about time. So it's 2 words, but that's my reaction to Steve Kerr's contract extension. I thought it was going to come in the offseason, but the way that Steve Kerr has really handled a lot of external drama for the Golden State Warriors this season, you might as well get your bag. Well, go ahead and comment that down below, but we're going to talk about what Steve Kerr and the future of Golden State will look like now throughout the 2026 season. Before I do that, let's break down our sponsor here on Warriors Today, and of course, that is PrizePicks, #1 daily fantasy sports app in America right now. I'm playing it. Smitty's playing it. Here's why you guys should too. It's super easy. It's super fun. And a lot of celebrities and rappers and comedians also play PrizePicks as well. So if you're a little bit overwhelmed, when you do get to prizepicks.com/CLNS, you can actually just go to their promos tab, and they have rappers like Meek Mill, comedians like Shane Gillis, who have already picked their picks down below. But there's a big game going on tonight between the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks. So I'm going to be watching that game on ABC. So I do want to see if Jaylen Brown's going to have more than 14.5 points. And I want to see if Josh Hart is going to have less than 13 rebounds and assists. But it's not just NBA. You can do NFL, MLB, NHL, Call of Duty. You can name it, PrizePicks has it. All you guys have to do to get started is go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100, and you're going to be able to have some fun and watch yourself win some real money in real time. This is not the season the Golden State Warriors have wanted. Have they turned things around? Yes. Are they getting above 500 right now? Absolutely. But they have had a lot of drama. And I'm going to be honest, there were a lot of points this season where I looked at Steve Kerr and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? In all honesty, you benched Jonathan Kuminga on January 4th when he dropped 16 points against the Denver Nuggets to the point where your owner, Joe Lacob, came in your press conference and was like, what the hell are you doing? The 2017 draft pick has been huge for the Golden State Warriors, and Steve Kerr, fortunately, wasn't playing him the way that he should have been in the first half of the season because he was so determined to play his veteran ball, what he's always done. But now, Kuminga and Kerr actually have a very good relationship, which is why I do think that having Kerr around for the next couple of years is only going to make players like Brandon Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga, Trayce Jackson-Davis, the young guys, a lot better knowing they've got a solid coach ahead of them. And Jonathan Kuminga did say this about being benched a while ago and what they've had to work on together. And he said, look, somebody wants great things for you. That's why they coach you harder. I think that's what it was. Just him coaching me harder every time because he wants great things for me. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be on this court. I wouldn't have this type of spirit to even go out there and play. And if anybody out there has ever played a sport in their entire life, you know how much a coach's impact matters. I quit volleyball my senior year of high school because the coach and I didn't see eye to eye. And it hurts when you have a sport you love be taken away by a coach that doesn't love it as much as you. That's not the issue here in the Bay Area. Steve Kerr loves basketball, probably more than any of those players on the court. So to have a mentor like that, it is amazing, considering the fact that he has done this with one of the greatest trios in the last decade of the NBA of Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry. Well, now he's got a lot of young talent in Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Podziemski, and more that he will have the opportunity to mold for the future of the NBA. And Steve Kerr has had a lot of great moments with the Golden State Warriors. Obviously a 4-time champion. He's led to 6 finals. He's also coached USA. So go ahead and comment your favorite memory of Steve Kerr coaching the Warriors. In all honesty, all of his press conferences after the game, I really do enjoy listening to him. He understands what's at stake, and especially when they lose, he really depicts what happened during that game, but he's also very emotional, which I do like to see from a head coach. So I do think that overall, I will get frustrated with Steve Kerr from time to time because I'm passionate about basketball, which is how most fans are, especially about Dub Nation. However, I do think Steve Kerr deserves to stay, and I think that this contract was just necessary to keep Steve Kerr in the Bay. I would say Gregg Popovich and Erik Spolestra are probably one of the only 2 coaches in the NBA right now who could possibly compete with Steve Kerr in terms of their coaching credibility. So I think that he's going to do great things throughout 2026, and I'm happy that he landed and he is here to stay in Dub Nation. So all you guys have to do from now on is just hit that sub button if you guys want any kind of news for the Golden State Warriors. Steve Kerr contract extension, Klay Thompson is now supposed to be the next man up if he does get a contract extension before free agency. And of course, we'll always report everything here. So all you guys have to do is subscribe.